What's up, guys? So this is going to be just a little bit of a follow-up video. I did a my life kind of update, what's going on with me and the house sale and everything like that. And I read your comments and stuff, and I want to kind of just talk about some more things, maybe explain some things. Yeah, just it's a continuation. I said a bunch of stuff, you guys commented, so I'm replying to a lot of the comments. So, just like any other time I've ever shared anything, you get an overwhelming, hey, it's okay, you're going to get through it, and I appreciate that a great deal. I really do. But unfortunately, what ends up standing out are the few people who criticize, so I wanted to talk about some of those criticisms. And before I do, I want to say that I live a unique life. I really do. A big chunk of my life was here, on YouTube, on the internet. Financially, emotionally, physically, here. I've posted a video every single day. For 16 years, I've never missed a day. I mean, some of you guys know that. Some of you guys don't. I've literally never missed a single day in 16 years. There's maybe a handful of times, 5, 6, 7, 10 times maybe, where I was like deathly sick. I had the flu, and I made a video saying I had the flu. You know what I'm saying? So like, I'm very dedicated to that part of being on the internet. I just want to share stuff, and I just always made that a thing where I'm going to share every day. Some people obviously make videos once a month, once a week, twice a week, whatever. That's always been my thing. I have over 6,000 videos on here. And I never run out of ideas. There's always something to talk about. Every single day I probably have anywhere from 2 or 3 ideas to 10 ideas. And sometimes I'll jot them down, sometimes I forget about them, sometimes I'll say I want to make a video on something, I just never do because I forget. I have so much going on in life that I want to share it, but I just don't have the physical time to do it all, right, to share it all. So, yeah, besides that, I also want to say that there's a good chance that none of you watching understand fully what it means to be a YouTuber. Some of you might have YouTube channels. Maybe someone watching this has a YouTube channel that's bigger than mine. And when I say that, there are thousands of channels bigger than mine. And I'm not trying to gloat or brag. My channel peaked back in 2013, you know what I'm saying? So if you're watching this, you're probably a regular. I've climbed up the hill. I've seen it all. And I've gone down the hill. And it's for various reasons. There's a bunch of different factors as why I don't get the views I used to, or why my subscriber count just basically paused for years. And I'm not going to get into that too much in this video, but a lot of it just has to do with, me making videos that YouTube doesn't want. That for various reasons. They just keep changing their policy. They want things to be more and more safe, you know what I'm saying? And I like to do stuff that apparently they don't think is safe. So that's just what it is. But that's not the point of the video. Or my point that I'm trying to make right now. It's hard for you guys to really be in my shoes. For 16 years, I've been criticized every single day of my life by strangers. And you have to really kind of step back and think about that. What does that really mean? Can you imagine whatever you do in your life if every single day 1 or 2 strangers randomly popped in while you're at work and said, hey, you're pretty fat. Why don't you work on that? Hey, you're kind of dumb. You're stupid. Your opinions are wrong. You're ugly. Some of it's stupid, obviously. But yeah, just understand what that is, because that's what it's like being a YouTuber. You get a lot of pumping up. I mean, I've had literally tens of thousands of people tell me how awesome I am. And yeah, that's awesome. That's great. It inflates your ego, certainly. I don't care who you are. If you're a human being, everyone every single day telling you how awesome you are feels great. It does. But what stands out is the few people that say, no, you suck. You're not great. You suck. You're horrible. And that should be it. You should off yourself. And I've gotten those messages before and comments. So it's a unique position to be in. Now, obviously, you grow thick skin quickly. And you get used to that, right? But it's not like it never bothers you. Of course it bothers you. Every single time I ever see a negative comment, it bothers me. And sometimes I'll take comments to heart more so than they're ever meant to be. Someone might criticize something, and it's coming from a good place. They care about me and they want me to do good, but I don't see the whole picture. Just like you guys never see the whole picture of what's going on. You only get what's going through these videos. So that's another thing just to say, like, I posted this video, I just was talking about, I'm just sharing my life. That's it. I could have very easily asked a lot of people for money to help out. And I didn't do that. You know why? Because I know a lot of people would have given me money. And that's not right. I would never ask for something unless I had no other options in life. That's just who I am. That's how my father and mother raised me. That's just, it's in the core of me, is that there will always be more needy people no matter what. If I ever ask you for something, it's because I have literally no other choice. But I feel like I'm somewhat smart, and I've set up different things, different options, backup plans to hopefully, you know, take care of business. I've always done that. I've always tried to have a backup plan to my backup plan, you know. So as far as criticisms go, it's just rough. That's all. And I'm just saying it's hard because most, if not all of you, can't really relate fully to that. You can have an understanding of what it might be like, but until you live it, it's unique. It's super unique. I shared videos on YouTube. People watched them. People wanted to see more videos. I posted more videos. A lot more people came. Some videos got popular. I made money. I started a life. I made enough money to pay all my bills. And I've relied on that money to pay all my bills for a very long time. And I knew in the back of my mind that it would have an ending. As I've said before, everything has an end. But I didn't know if it would be 50 years, 2 years, who knows, right? Turns out it's more like 20. That's about the range there. But like I said, my channel went all the way up and then just kind of landslide for, there's a lot of reasons why. I've never changed. Now, some people criticize that. Some people say, well, that's why you're not growing, because you're not changing. You don't have this big theatrical channel with all this editing and music, and you never hired anyone, and lighting and all this stuff. I've always just done the same thing since day one. For 16 years, I've turned a camera on and I've just talked to it. That's it. Some people love that about my channel. Some people hate that about my channel. I have such a variety of different interests, and I just always enjoyed sharing it. That's what I do. The problem is that from a financial standpoint, it became very difficult because there was a big rise and everything seemed great. And then there was a slow descent, but the descent has been steadily down. And so again, trying to relate to that financially, can you imagine if you went to work and no matter how hard you worked, every month they gave you a little bit less, and it never stopped. You just kept going to work, but they kept giving you a little bit less, right? So a normal adult would probably suggest that, hey, find some other way of having income. And I have dozens of different ways of making income over the years. And sometimes it's reliable, sometimes it's not. Like I said, this is just poor timing. The whole thing happened to be poor timing. I've had ups, I've had downs, I've been in massive debt, I've been completely out of debt, had money in the bank. You know, at some point I had $25,000 in the bank to my name. I was single at the time. No debt at all, just loving life, but not really loving life because I didn't have my wife, I didn't have anyone to love, I was all alone in many, many ways. And in the future I'll talk more in depth about that kind of stuff because I had a few years of my life there when you guys saw me and I was rocking on YouTube and doing my thing and stuff, but I was pretty sad because I had nothing else. It was just YouTube, it was just you guys, you know. I didn't have my family. I didn't talk to my family for a couple years. It was just, it was a huge thing, right? So I'll talk more about that in the future, but I felt very, very alone at even some of the highest points in my YouTube career where everyone online is pumping me up, but then I, you know, come home to an empty house and it's just depressing, you know? So I've been there. I've been lots of different places, right? So another thing I want to touch on a little bit is and again, this is hard because you guys don't have the full story of everything, and that's why I'm making this video, kind of explain it a little bit different. No matter who you are, someone out there, if not multiple people, will absolutely criticize how you live. Someone will tell you you're wasting your money. Someone will tell you you're wasting your time. Someone will tell you that your relationship is garbage. Someone will tell you that your family is garbage. It doesn't matter because we have such diversity in this world. And so many people think they're doing it the right way. So many people pray to a God and other people laugh at them for that because they think it's the wrong God or there is no God. You know, some people feel very strongly about their political views and other people laugh at them. You're so stupid. How can you live a life thinking like that? Really? You must be dumb. And so there will always be criticism. You really have to understand there will always be criticism. But in my situation, I can understand how some of you felt and some of you commented, and this was a not like a super comment. At least it's hard too, because like the comments do not represent what people think watching a video. If 4,000 people watch the video and there's 100 comments, that's not 4,000 opinions. That's 100 opinions. You know what I'm saying? However, there was a few of you who thought very simply, hey, wait a minute. Jeff, if you don't have any money, why are you going out buying a brand new truck that's almost $50,000? Yeah, that makes total not sense, right? That sounds kind of dumb, right? It seems like a financially poor decision. And so, just so you know, that's not really how it went. And again, even if it was how it went, if I went out today, like knowing that I might have to move very soon, and by the way, well, I'm not going to get into it yet today. The decision was made today, by the way, as of the filming this video. And by the way, the first video was filmed on the 8th, right? April 8th, when I think we had the earthquake. That's, or, you know, that's why I mentioned it in the video. But anyway, it just took me a few days to get through things and actually upload that because it was a longer video. But anyway, so yeah, it's like, well, why'd you do that? If I went out today right now and I just bought a Hummer or something, or some sports car, you'd be like, dude, you're so stupid. Like, you have no money. You're complaining about money. Why would you go out and spend all this money, right? And I get this constantly with the knives. Why are you complaining about money? First of all, before you even get into any of that, let me just say I'm not complaining about money. I'm just sharing with you. I'm not sitting here going, hey, I don't have enough money. I need more money. Everyone needs money. I don't care what lifestyle you have. You need money. We all need money to pay our bills, and once our bills are paid, usually it's not enough. We want to be entertained. We want cool stuff. That's life. Unfortunately, that's what it is. It doesn't have to be, but that's the reality of things. Even if you just want to watch a television program, right? You got to pay for television. You want to stream something, you got to pay for it. You want to go to the movies, you got to pay for it. You want to go out to dinner and have an entertaining meal as opposed to making your own. You got to pay for it. Everything costs money. That's how this world runs. But I understand the very simple, that's dumb. Why'd you do that, right? So if you don't, and here's the other thing is not everyone watches all the videos. So I give little bits of information here and there, and if you don't watch this video and get that information, then you won't know about this, and this won't make sense. So it's a long story that's been told for over a decade and a half, right? So not everyone watches every video and knows everything about me that I've talked about on camera. So I didn't just go out and buy an almost $50,000 truck. What happened was I went out and when I was single, decided I need a reliable source of transportation. And so at the time, I decided to go get a cheap car. And my decision was solely based on how it looked because I thought it was cool. And I bought a Chrysler 200. It was a 2013 Chrysler 200. This was, again, at like the peak of my YouTube channel. I was raking in the dough. And down the road, I'll talk numbers. I'll tell you guys everything. But there's an appropriate time for that. So I said, yeah, I'm going to finance it. At the time, I actually wanted a Chrysler 300. I thought the 300 was the coolest car ever. It was like super classy, but they had one version with a Hemi in it. And it was cool. It was fast, powerful, but super, super classy. Thing looked like a Bentley. I loved it. I still love that car, even though it's unreliable. So I'm at the dealership, and I was really going to finance one. And I thought, you know what? No, let me do the right thing. Let me just get a cheaper car. I just need a car that's new. I want a warranty. I want to not have to worry about fixing something that breaks down. Because if you have watched this channel, you've known I have many, many vehicles and many, many vehicle problems. More so than probably anyone you will ever meet. I never had more car trouble than anyone. So I thought, all right, well, let me finance this cheaper car. It's the financially right decision to do, right? I want reliable transportation, but I don't want to spend too much. So I did. I financed a 2013 Chrysler 200S. I thought it was cool looking. It was comfortable. It wasn't really fast, you know, but it was brand new. So I loved everything about it. It was black on black on black with a sunroof and black rims. It was actually, I think, two-tone rims, but I loved the car. I thought it was really cool. And I think they wanted $24,000, and I got them down to $21,000, and you know, tax, title out the door, the whole thing. I think it was like 22 and a half or 23, something like that. So yeah, payments were reasonable. I could totally afford it. You know, it was fine. I can afford an even more expensive car then, but I want to do the right thing. I want to have money in the bank, pay off my car early, and that's just what I did. I made more than my payment every single month. I want to say my payment was like in the low three. It was like $290 or $300, something like that. But I was making $400 a month payments on it because I wanted to pay it off early, and I paid off a year early. I own my car. I've succeeded. I went to a dealership. I promised the bank that I'd pay it off, and I did. I paid off in 5 years, had a 6-year loan. And by the way, I would recommend that. If you're making car payments, make one extra payment a year if you can, or round up. If your car payment is $592, give them $600. If it's $284, give them $300. You know, round up. That little extra actually really helps on paying off interest and stuff too. Getting, at the end of the day, getting a car cheaper. But anyway, so now I own my car. I don't have a car payment, which is amazing. Very few people out there live a life where they don't have to worry about a car payment. And I had it for about a year. In that year, I did have a bunch of different problems. I probably spent between $2,500 and $3,000 on repairs. Now, if you look at that, $3,000 for the year, maybe I could have gotten into a new car and still made car payments. I would have paid more than $3,000 a year, I think, but well, I would have, definitely, but it's just one of those things. It's a toss-up, and a lot of people have to make this decision in life. Do I get the brand new car with the warranty, but make consistent payments, or do I just own my car and just pay for repairs? It depends. 9 out of 10 times, you're going to be better off just owning a car and making repairs, because not all cars need to be repaired every month. If you're making a $300 car payment, and you look at it that way, like, well, if I bought a used car, am I going to spend $300 on repairs every month? No, not consistently. You might have an $800 payment or an $800 repair, but then no repairs for 5 months. So it always works out cheaper that way, but I wanted reliability. I wanted reliable transportation. Unfortunately, I thought Chrysler would provide that for me, and I was very, very wrong. And I've moved on and learned from that experience. So, had my car for about a year. Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve, I drove my wife to Connecticut to spend time with her family for Christmas Eve, and the car blew up. It overheated, seized the engine. That was it. I have no car, which sucked. Oh, I got the rain coming now. I love the rain. It's calming. It's very nice. Anyway, so now I'm kind of freaking out. Holy moly, what do I do? Should I buy used? I couldn't, because I had money when I started financing the car. This is 5 years later. I'm sorry, 6 years later. 6 years later, I'm married. I don't have any money. So I couldn't just go out and get a used car that was actually going to be reliable. At least in my area, you can't just go out and spend $2,000, $3,000 and get anything that's worth a damn, really. You know, you want to get into a used vehicle, you're still talking 10 grand, 15 grand, you know, in and that range to get something reasonable. You know, it can have dents and scratches and rust, but if you want it running and a good possibility of continuing to run, you're looking at about 10,000 or more. So I'm scrambling. What am I going to do? Now I'm just looking at new cars. Not brand new, but like low mileage, like almost new. You know, cars that were, you know, turned in, traded in, whatever. At this time, I hear about Carvana. I think, damn, that's a weird thing. Who buys a car on the internet? I start looking into it a little bit. I ended up buying a car through Carvana. Now, I know I needed certain criteria. Where I live, we have rough winters. I need to get around in the snow. I have to be dependable to make money. So, I think, well, I need at least four-wheel drive. I'm looking at a car. What are my options? Four-wheel drive, under 30,000. That was my budget. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to have this car for a long time, but I got to stay under 30 no matter what. Out the door. So I had a let's say $23,000 car. I'm looking to get a car that's under 30. Then I find out that Dodge makes a Challenger that's four-wheel drive. I'm sorry, not four-wheel drive, all-wheel drive. There is a difference. But it makes an all-wheel drive Challenger, so now I'm like stuck on that. I keep going looking at different vehicles, and I'm like, damn, the Challenger's pretty cool. I'm trying to lift my spirits. I'm totally bummed. My car blew up. But hey, I can have a cool car and still have all-wheel drive so I can get around the winter. So I did it. I found one for a phenomenal deal. I think tax, title, everything out the door was $28,000. $28,000. It had 4,000 miles on it. Got the Challenger. You guys saw the videos. If you haven't, check them out. I have videos on it. Loved it. Oh my God. Most comfortable car I've ever sat in my life. It's just the most comfortable seat. The whole thing was just, it hugs you like a a warm couch and blanket. It was the best car to drive. It was big. I'm not used to physically large, long cars, heavy cars, and maybe that'd be difficult for you, but it was just literally the most comfortable car to date I've ever driven. I loved it. Wintertime came, I'm like, all right, well, is this all-wheel drive going to suck? And it didn't. The all-wheel drive on that car was wonderful. Really, really nice. Awesome. But then I had this thing in the back of my head, and I talked about this, I think, on video, but I'm like, damn, man, why'd I buy another Chrysler product? Dodge, Chrysler, it's the same thing, right? When's this going to blow up? I couldn't shake the feeling. When am I going to have a problem with this? You know, I have a warranty. It's brand new. Well, it's pre-owned, but it was certified pre-owned, whatever. I have a warranty on it. So, like, right now, I'm thinking, like, something happens, it's not a big deal. But once that warranty's gone, I'm screwed. I know it. I know it. Something is going to happen to this friggin' car, and I'm not going to be able to afford to fix it. COVID happens. All of a sudden, the car is worth way more than I owe. I started thinking, what if I just trade this in? And I'm like, nah, I don't want to trade it in. They're not going to give me what I want, even though the prices were up. So I said to myself, and I, of course, talk to my wife through this whole thing too. You know, we communicate, we talk, we agree on things. I don't just do stuff without her, you know, knowing what's going on and getting her opinion on it. I thought, you know what? Because she told me, she's like, well, once you own this, once you pay it off, what do you want to do with it? I'm like, well, once I pay it off, I want to sell it because I'm just worried it's going to break. She's like, well, okay, well, why keep it? It's worth more right now than it'll ever be. Smart chick. All right, cool. I went to a dealership. I sold it. I don't remember the exact numbers. I think I talked about it in the video. I'm not going to make it up now because I don't really remember. But I made thousands of dollars. I took that money. Well, it got transferred, let's just say, because I sold it. They gave me a check for all of it. They bought out my loan and gave me a check for the difference. I took that check. I went down to Toyota because everyone I knew in the entire world told me Toyota makes the best, most reliable vehicles. And I financed the RAV4. And that was my big down payment on the RAV4. So I went from a little over $20,000 car to a almost $30,000 car. That was the Challenger. I sold the Challenger and I went to an almost $40,000 car. That RAV4 that I got was an XLE premium with everything you can want in it. It was totally decked out. It was almost 40 grand. Wow, that's a lot of money for a car. For me. Driving the RAV4, everything's cool. You guys know I made videos on it, loved it. I wanted more room. And guess what? All of a sudden, my RAV4 is very sought after. Everyone wants one. It's worth more than I owe. So what do? I traded in for the Tacoma. I love the idea of having a truck. I love the idea of more room. Literally, the week that we traded in and got the truck, we went camping, and we packed that truck with camping gear. And we wouldn't be able to bring that stuff in the RAV4. So right out of the gate, I'm super happy. I have all this cargo space now. I love it. The capability is even more so. Like the RAV4 was really good all-wheel drive. I would say not as good as the Challenger, believe it or not. But the Tacoma is way more capable. Snow, ice, well, everything sucks in the ice. You guys know that. But I'm just saying, like actual off-roading if I needed to ever do so, and actual serious snow conditions. I'm way more capable with the four-wheel drive option. I have all extra features too. It's the off-road edition. So went from a $20-something thousand car to a $30,000 car to a $40,000 car to an almost $50,000 truck. So there was a progression there, and I made money on every vehicle along the way, except for the Chrysler, of course. I got zero from that. Not exactly zero. It blew up. I had it towed back to my house, and I think I sold it for $2,000 as is, or $2,000, $1,200, $1,400. I don't remember. I got a little bit of money on it, but barely anything. Someone bought it. I think they put a new engine in it and resold it. But yeah, so it's not like it's just one day I wanted to go buy an expensive truck with no money. There's a progression. There's a timeline of things that occurred, right? But I also understand that that's just an asset. And if I need to sell my truck to afford, you know, my new house or whatever happens in the future, I'm fine with that. It's just stuff. Now, something else, I have to sell my knives. I'm okay with that. And there's a couple reasons why. Now, I'm not selling all my knives, obviously. I'll always have knives. I don't care how broke I am or poor, where I'm living or what I'm doing. I'll have some kind of knife collection. But I got to dig deep into the good stuff. I got to sell some of my most expensive knives, and I'm starting with Balisongs. So if you're interested in some very hard to find Balisongs, hit me up on Instagram. But you guys will see, some of you who follow me, you'll see I'll list stuff here and there. But yeah, it's just, you know, and that's another comment that someone make was like, you know, if it was me, I'd be selling everything I own. I am. Backup plans to backup plans to backup plans. That's what I'm trying to do, right? My income has continuously gone down every month for years now. Again, that's hard to live with. Try to put yourself in that situation. You show up, you do your best, everyone loves you, but that paycheck just keeps getting smaller and smaller and smaller. So again, I've subsidized my income with other things. I've had a job for over a year now that I don't talk about. I just don't. Maybe in the future I'll talk about it, but I physically go work somewhere every day. Not a lot of people know that. I bust my hump every single day. It's a very physical position. I do that to make up for the lost money from YouTube. And I'm okay with that. Again, it's just life. Life happens. You have to make ends meet, right? I'm a guy. I have a responsibility as a man, but also I feel like I have a responsibility as a husband to do that, to take care of my wife, right? My family. So I have no problem with that. I have no problem with working. But it's just like I said, it's just a unique situation. It's hard for anyone to really, really understand what I'm going through because it's so weird. It's a weird life. But yeah, I'm not, you know, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't upset. I wasn't saddened by the whole thing, but I'm trying not to just focus on that negativity and, you know, just, because, I mean, where does it get you, really? I can definitely go, you know, make a pissed off face in the corner and pout, but it's not going to get me anywhere, so I'm just trying to figure things out. That's all. Trying to figure things out. Be positive about it. You guys' messages were amazing. I got so many messages from you guys. And I do appreciate the support, but, you know, it can always be worse. And I talk about my friends, like my friend losing his leg, my other friend in a car accident. By the way, she's doing better than they expected. You know, I think she was released from the hospital and in therapy now, so she has a, you know, neck brace on, the whole thing. But that's it. My friend who lost his leg, who lost his wife first and lost his leg, God help him. He's such a wonderful guy, too. Such a nice, good-hearted person, right? But things just happen for reasons. You know, sometimes we can't explain it, and that's okay. I'm cool with that. I understand there's always going to be worse and always going to be better. That's just how it is. But I'm making this video mostly for the people who criticize me. Why do you have such a, you know, brand new expensive vehicle? And you know, it's what it is. You don't have to agree with me, by the way. You know, we have nothing to do with each other. I don't tell you how to spend your money or not spend your money, and you don't tell me. It's just how it works. For, again, the comments of like, well, you know, stop buying all these expensive knives. I don't buy expensive knives. If I want an $800 knife, you know what it cost me? Physically? $12. Maybe $15. Because it means I take something that I own that's worth $800, whether it's 20 knives or 5 knives, maybe it's a bunch of gear, whatever it is. I put that in a box and I ship it. And then I get my $800 knife. That's how things work in my life. I'm not spending money on things. I was heavily critiqued by one person that said they were super pissed off that I spent $80 on a custom battery tie down for the truck. I didn't buy that for $80. I would never do that. I bartered. That's what I do. I barter for things. If I want something, I get rid of something they already have. Or I work out deals. That's just what I do because I can't afford to just do stuff like that. I thought it was super cool and I wanted it. That's why I got it. But I bartered for it. You know what I mean? It's a unique situation that not everyone's in. Most people are just used to, if they want something, they have to buy it. They have to spend money. I trade. I trade everything. Now, something else I want to touch upon a little bit is gold. Precious metals. So, I do have some silver. I barely have any gold left. I did trade for some different gold pieces since my last video talking about this months and months ago. But small fractional gold, nothing crazy. I don't have like a 1 ounce gold piece anymore. But when I wanted $10,000 to pay off debt, I sold gold. I listed $10,000 worth of gold and silver, and I sold it in less than 48 hours. That's it. Someone sent me a check. I went to the bank and cashed it. $10,000 for gold and silver. Like that, like nothing. When it comes to knives, you know how long it's going to take me to sell $10,000 worth of knives? Now, I dealt with one person gave me $10,000. There's no one in existence who's going to just buy $10,000 worth of knives from me. I have to sell to 20 people, 50 people, 100 people, 200 people. I have no idea what it's going to take. But I have to sell to a lot of different people, a lot of different sales, a lot of different listings to inch my way up to a larger amount, right? I have debt, and I have to pay off my debt. But while I'm working on doing that, I have to also pay my bills. I happen to not make enough money monthly to cover my bills and my debt. So I'm subsidizing, I'm selling things, I'm trying to make things work. You know what I'm saying? This is life. Life throws this at you, you know? I know some people criticize because it's coming from a good place. You know, it's like a fatherly figure. Maybe some older guy is commenting because he sees me as a nice person and like, dude, what, you're so stupid. Why are you doing that? Like a dad. Like a dad would say. You get a smack on the head. Hey, what are you doing, idiot? You know, why are you wasting your money? I understand that approach to it, you know? But it's easy to be criticized by a bunch of strangers. When I make videos on lots of stuff, and there's just this illusion that I just have endless money and I'm wealthy and rich and I could just buy all this crap. I don't. I trade for it. I barter for it. When you see stuff on camera, I'm not just buying it. I can't afford to. I'd love to. I would definitely show some different stuff if I could just go out and buy it, but that's not how it works. So, yeah, I mean, money's just money. Comes and goes. It's fine. Ups and downs. It's life, right? Sometimes you have money, sometimes you don't. Some people are lucky enough to always have money. Some people are unlucky enough to always be broke. But anyway, the point I was trying to get to with the gold and silver is that that's always been my focus as a true backup plan, because if things go south, it's not feasible to get quick cash selling knives. Yes, I can sell probably a $300 knife quickly if I price it right. But I can sell $100,000 worth of silver in a couple minutes. You know what I'm saying? $100,000 worth of gold. I don't have that. I'm just saying. So my focus has always been, like, I love my knives and stuff, but I'm going to sacrifice my knives before I'm going to sacrifice silver, because silver is the ultimate backup plan. You know what I'm saying? I have it buried. I can access it, but it's not easy. That's the whole point. So there was no temptation to buy it, or to sell it, rather. But anyway, so yeah, I'm going to unfortunately have to sacrifice and sell some of my favorite knives, but that's okay. I have lots of knives. And believe it or not, some of my favorite knives are not the super expensive ones. They're not. Some of them are not the rarest ones. Some of my favorite knives are knives with a story, knives that were gifts, knives I just like them because they're unique. They don't have to be expensive to be wonderful. I'm going to make another video in the future talking about knife stuff too. I had a conversation with someone about like hyped knives and people spending so much money on knives because everyone thinks they're cool. And I'm like, yeah, it's because they're cool. But anyway, that's for a separate video. So that's pretty much it. This is probably way too long already. But yeah, I just want to touch upon those specific comments about my brand new truck that I can't afford. And, you know, I'm making payments on it. I haven't missed a payment on my vehicle. Knock on wood, I've never missed a payment on my vehicles, right? Because I try to be responsible. In the last, like I told you, I have debt. I have over $10,000 worth of debt right now. However, in the last decade, I've only made, I think, 2 late payments, and they're both credit cards. That's it. I still pay my bills. I make things work because it's important, and you have to. You can't just not pay your bills. You know what I'm saying? When you owe people money, it's because you asked for it, or you asked for a service or goods, whatever it was. And I take that responsibility. You know, I want to pay my bills. Taxes are a great example. I don't mind paying taxes. I don't like getting ripped off. I definitely don't like seeing the government waste my tax dollars like it's nothing. For various things I'm not going to get into, which you guys probably agree with and understand, the billions and millions of dollars they give everyone all the time. Like I said, how are you going to give away $1 billion and then hound some old lady because she owes you $60? That makes sense? No. Anyway, that would be a whole separate video for the next hour of ranting. But yeah, I don't mind. You know, if I borrow money, I pay back. I always pay back. And if I have to pay interest sometimes because I can't pay back right away, so be it. But I do pay my bills. And as of right now, I can afford the truck. That's why it's still in my driveway. The day I can afford the truck, of course, I'll get rid of it. It's fine. It's just stuff. That's it. It's not going to be my last vehicle, hopefully, before I die. Unless I die soon. You know, I love the Tacoma, though. I will say if I have to sell it or let it go, I would probably buy a used Tacoma. I really do like them a lot. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Only because the videos get long. I always have, the gears are running, the thoughts are, they can pour out of my mouth all day long, but it takes forever to edit these long videos and post them. So that's it for now. Just again, a little bit of an update, a little bit of a, you know, addition to what's going on. And like I said, stay tuned. I'll have a lot more of these down the road, some storytime videos. I'll keep you guys updated, you know, the best I can as things progress. There's things happening right now. There was a decision made on the house today, which I know what happened, but I can't really talk about it yet. But we'll see what happens in the future. So stay tuned. I'll see you guys tomorrow with a brand new video. And I do love you guys. I truly do. From the bottom of my heart, it's amazing because so many of you are strangers to me. People I've never met, be able to shake your hand and stuff, but we're brothers, we're sisters, you know. Well, I'm not a girl, but brothers and sisters, moms and dads, kids, you know, people of all ages, all backgrounds, connecting over some hobbies. That's pretty amazing, isn't it? That's why you know me, right? The guy who, you know, is a knife guy. The guy who likes lighters or whatever. I looked up this one thing and I saw this guy, now I watch him. But we're connected. Somehow. And I appreciate it. So, anyway, see you guys tomorrow with a brand new video. Take care.